Hey y'all, I'm EJ, surprise you're you, and welcome to my channel. I hope you've got your learning hats on. If you don't, I'll give you a second. You good? Okay. Because today we're building the museum area. So I've been putting off this area for a while, but gotta get it done, so we're doing it, y'all. The museum area is actually very small, so I'm going to take this time to show a little more of the behind-the-scenes action. So I hope you enjoy this micro speed build, but first things first, make sure you blast off that subscribe button, you make a chemical reaction happen with that like button, and you write some complex formulas in the comment box. Get it? It's like, it's science. And enjoy. That means enjoy. Cool. Alright, so the first step in the museum build is just going to be to clean up everything. And done. Next step, change your clothes and then make sure you paper over all of these old paths. The goal of this obviously is to get it back to a blank slate. Just want to make sure that everything is, I'm not influenced by previous designs that I already laid out. The next thing I'm doing is closing off and fixing the terraforming. I really want this to feel like it's just like an outcropping of the mountain. I'm not going to have this be a throughway to get to the rest of the island, so this is going to be a dead end, and I'm going to close off that end. But I'm just fixing up some of the terraforming, making it a little bit more natural. The next step is to change clothes again, and then start laying down path. Of course, a good step, this is optional, is to accidentally go into the museum and then come back out. But I am just using the pathing here to figure out the flow of this area. I didn't really have too much of an idea of what I wanted the finished product to come out like, so this is really me figuring out exactly what I wanted to do with this area. This is a common theme in my building. I don't have plans. I never plan. Planning? Who's that? I don't know her. And of course, I always kind of change up things as I go along. I wanted a tree to go in this corner, but I didn't want it to block the museum entrance, so I moved the pathing over a little bit. Now this is one thing that I do whenever I reset my islands, is I just collect all of my natural things like trees and bushes and things like that in one area of my island. I usually make trips back and forth here when I'm doing those builds, but I usually cut it out. But since this is a shorter build, I thought I'd keep it in just to give you a good sense of, the process. And now this part I decided to actually make the terraforming follow along with the pathing that I had been setting out. I didn't intend to do this, and I was kind of unsure if I even wanted to do it, but I thought, why not? Let's figure it out. Let's try it. Science. That's the theme, right? The next step is just to start laying down some more of the nature items, so shrubs, trees, things like that. And then I guess dissociate after you dig up a tree. Who knows? That's a very important step. You can't skip it. And now, I've placed a bunch of natural items, but now I think it's really just time to start grabbing some furniture. So I talked about this a little bit in the beach video, but I have collected a bunch of things in here, a bunch of junk really, just from previous areas on my old island that I took down. I never really sell anything. I like to just keep it so I have quick, easy access to it, and it does make it, kind of easy whenever I'm doing these builds. It's one of the benefits to being a hoarder, I guess. So I'm just grabbing a bunch of things. I'm not sure I'm going to use all of these, but I'll grab them and we'll figure it out as we go along. Now, when you are designing in Animal Crossing, for the most part, you are kind of designing on a grid, like a giant chessboard that goes across your entire island. And most things that you place down, like buildings, bushes, trees, flowers, these things all have to take up an entire square, an entire black or an entire white square. But like furniture isn't confined by that grid. You can straddle 2 squares. So whenever I am placing things down, I always try to offset furniture, because when that happens, it breaks up the lines of the grid, and the grid kind of disappears for a viewer, and it makes everything look a little bit more natural, which, is kind of my style. Now, I'm mainly trying to use like white and red flowers in my area because, we're going to the winter, and I think that white and red is going to look really primo in the snow. You can check out another video I made, though, for some other tips for transitioning to the winter. And then I'm trying to fill in this area, again, offsetting things and then getting stuck. It's a very important part of my process, is just to get stuck in my designs. But I try to fill up space as much as I can, just because 1, I don't want fossils to spawn there, and 2, I just think it looks nice. We're getting down to it. We're almost done. You know what? Bam. I'm just gonna skip ahead. So this is on December 10th and the snow's falling. It looks beautiful, and look at this area. I honestly, when I fast forwarded, this is when I was like, oh, okay, cool, this is awesome. I love that there's a little telescope there. It feels kind of sciencey without being like super in your face about it. It feels super natural, and I'm really happy with this area. So thanks for watching, y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.